Registering to vote in California is fast and easy. In this 15-minute video, we will walk through the steps for online voter registration on the California Secretary of State website. To be eligible to vote in California, you must be a United States citizen, a resident of California, 18 years or older on election day, not currently in state or federal prison or on parole for the conviction of a felony, and not currently found mentally incompetent to vote by a court. 16 and 17-year-olds that meet the other eligibility requirements may pre-register to vote. Most eligible California voters can register and pre-register online. However, online voter registration is not available within 14 days of an election. If you need to register and it is within 14 days of an election, please go to caearlyvoting.sos.ca to find an early voting location where you can register in person. If you are enrolled in a confidential address program such as Safe at Home, do not use online voter registration. Instead, contact the Safe at Home program at the phone number or website listed on the screen. If you don't have a California driver's license or identification card issued by the Department of Motor Vehicles, you can still use the online voter registration tool, but there will be a few more steps that will be noted at the end of the application process. Note that if your name, address, or political party preference has changed recently, you will need to re-register to vote, and you should follow the instructions in this video. Start by navigating to the voter registration page on the Secretary of State website by entering registertovote.ca.gov in the search bar of your web browser. This online form is available in 10 languages. Click on the appropriate language to continue or on the Register to Vote Now button to start your application in English. On the registration application, you will see that some questions are marked with a red asterisk. This indicates that the question must be answered prior to moving on to the next page of the affidavit. The first question asks you to classify yourself. To register to vote on this website, you must be a United States citizen and a resident of California. There are times when a United States citizen that is outside of the country may vote in California. Those circumstances are listed here. If your situation fits one of these other categories, click on the appropriate statement. Otherwise, click the circle next to the words, a U.S. citizen and resident of California. Then click the box that says Next. Confirm again that you are a U.S. citizen and resident of California. Choose if you are 18 or older, or 16 or 17 and want to pre-register. Next, you will enter your personal information. If you'd like, enter a prefix from the drop-down menu. Then enter your first name exactly as it appears on your California driver's license or ID card if you have one. You may choose to enter a middle name. Enter your last name, again, exactly as it appears on your California driver's license or ID if you have one. Choose a suffix if appropriate. Next, you may enter your email address. This would be used by your local elections officials to contact you if there are any issues with your registration. Retype your email address to confirm if you've chosen to provide one. Enter your phone number if you choose. Your phone number will be used by your local election official to contact you if there is an issue with your registration. It is important to note that your phone number would also be posted on the list of voters available for public inspection at polling places on Election Day. In addition, if you provide an email address or phone number, that information will be included in any requests for voter information from political candidates or organizations doing voter outreach work. Use the drop-down menus to choose your month and day of birth and type in your year of birth in the box. Move down to the section on place of birth. If you were born in the United States, click on the circle next to the U.S. state territory and choose the state or territory of your birth from the drop-down menu. If you were born outside of the United States, click the circle next to Foreign Country Region and search the drop-down menu for your country or region of birth. If your country or region of birth is not listed, choose Other. Next, enter your identification information. If you have a California driver's license or identification card, enter that number in the box here. If you don't have either of these pieces of identification or don't know the number, click on the box to indicate you don't have that information. If you have a Social Security number, enter the last 4 digits of it in the box here. If you don't have a Social Security number or you don't know it, click on the box next to I do not have a Social Security number. If you don't provide a California driver's license or identification card number or a Social Security number, you may have to show some form of proof of identity when you vote for the first time in California. This would be the only time that you would need to show identification at a polling location in California. Next, you may choose to enter your ethnicity or race by using the drop-down menu here. You may also choose a language that you prefer your election materials to come to you in. If you don't choose a language, your election materials will be sent to you in English. Next, enter information for your address. First, you'll enter your home address. This is the address where you generally reside, the place that you consider to be your home. This address cannot be a post office box number and it can't be a business address. Click on the circle next to I have a street address if your home address is a street address. Enter your street number and name, your apartment or unit number if you have one, and your city. California should already be entered into the field for state. Enter your zip code and then use the drop-down menu to choose the county that you live in. If you don't have a street address for your home, for example, you are houseless or you live at a location with no address, click on the circle next to I do not have a street address. Then enter the cross streets closest to your home. Use the drop-down menu to choose the county where your home is located. You may choose to enter a mailing address that is different than your home address. Your mailing address is where you want your election information and ballot sent to. This address may be a regular street address or it may be a post office box or business. If you would like your election materials sent to your home address, skip this section. If you indicated that you don't have a street address above, you must enter a mailing address where you will receive your election materials. If you're a student that is away from home, you may enter a mailing address at your current location to receive your election material and ballot if you choose to continue to vote in California. Click on the box next to My mailing address is different from my home address. Then enter the street address or post office box for your mailing address, an apartment or unit number if applicable, and the city for your mailing address. Use the drop-down menu to choose the state and then enter the zip code in the box. If you were previously registered or pre-registered to vote, click the box here. Enter as much information as you know about your previous registration. This will allow the elections official to cancel your prior voter registration. If you can't remember the information about your prior registration, it won't affect your voter registration application now. Next, you'll choose your political party preference. You may choose to be affiliated with a political party, and in that case, click on the circle next to Yes, my political party preference is, then use the drop-down menu to choose the political party you would like to be associated with. The menu will show the 6 political parties recognized by California as well as Other Party. If you choose Other Party, you must then enter the name of the political party you would like to be affiliated with in the box here. Alternatively, you may choose not to be affiliated with a party. Click No Party, None. I do not want to choose a political party preference. This will classify you as a no party preference voter. You will receive the same ballot with the same candidate choices as party-affiliated voters for all elections with the exception of presidential primaries. Presidential primaries occur once every 4 years. The last presidential primary was held on March 3, 2020, and the next presidential primary will be held in March of 2024, so be sure to check for any changes in the law at that time. Otherwise, whether to be affiliated with a political party or not is simply a preference of the voter. Click the Next button at the bottom of the page. Choose if you would like to receive your ballot by mail before each election. For the November 3rd, 2020 election, all registered voters in California will receive a vote-by-mail ballot regardless of whether they are a permanent vote-by-mail voter or not. Whether this situation will continue for future elections is unclear, so if you would always like to receive your ballot in the mail before Election Day, click on the circle next to Yes. As a reminder, if you choose to vote in person on Election Day or during early voting, you may still do so. Just bring your vote-by-mail ballot with you to the polling location and surrender it to the poll worker who will give you a ballot to vote in person. Choose if you would like to receive your state voter information guide in the mail before each election. If you choose no, you can still access the voter information guide through the Secretary of State website. The statewide guide includes information on statewide candidates and state ballot propositions. Choose if you would like to receive your county voter information guide in the mail before each election. If you choose no, you will be emailed a notification that the guide is available online before each election if your county offers that service. If you've chosen no for either of the previous two questions, you must enter an email address where you will receive notifications about the voter information guides. Enter your email address in the box provided. Re-enter the email address in the next box down to confirm. Next, you may click the box here to indicate that you are willing to volunteer as a poll worker on election days. You will be asked to indicate what languages you speak. You may click the box next to I can provide a polling place on election day if you have a location or home you are willing to offer as a polling site. If someone helped you fill out this form online, click the circle next to Yes here. Then fill in the information of the person who helped you, including the organization the person is with, if any. If no one helped you fill out the form, click on the circle next to No. Finally, read the statements under the section titled Affirmation. Remember that this online form is considered a legal document and it is against California law to submit information that you know to be incorrect. If you can affirm the statements here are true and correct, click the box under Affirmation, then click Next. You will now have an opportunity to review your voter registration application before submitting it. Scroll down the page to make sure that all fields are correct. If you need to change any answers, click Edit at the bottom of the page and it will take you back to the start of the application. If everything is correct, click Submit at the bottom of the page. You will now see a confirmation page. This means your voter registration application has been successfully submitted. You have the option of printing out the application for your records or requesting a copy of the confirmation receipt by email. To do so, scroll down the box in the middle of the page and enter your email address, then click Send. If you did not enter a California driver's license or identification card number, your confirmation page will say Signature Needed in the upper left corner. If this is the case, you have two options for completing your application. Your first option is to print out the application by clicking on Print Application, sign it, and return it to your county election officials. If you do not have access to a printer, your second option is to click on Submit Application Without Signature, and then your county election official will print a copy of the application and mail it to you. You will then need to sign the application and return it to the election official. A printed application will look like the one on the screen. You will need to follow the instructions on the form to return it to your election official. Remember to sign the application and to place a stamp on it before mailing to the address listed in the instructions. You may also hand deliver your signed application to your local election official's office. You can expect to receive a postcard confirming your registration from your local election official within 2 to 4 weeks. Be sure to check this postcard to ensure all information on it is accurate. You can always check the accuracy of your voter registration information by going back to registertovote.ca.gov and clicking on the Check My Voter Registration button. Now that you are registered to vote, you'll want to check out the League of Women Voters Voter Information Resources. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan political organization that never endorses parties or candidates. Find useful information to become an active and informed voter at votersedge.org and easyvoterguide.org. And remember, democracy is not a spectator sport.